Hi, I'm Arthur Moats, number 55 of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Former Mizzou Tiger Marcus Golden.
This is former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver J.J. Bird, and you're watching the Outsider Sports Show.
The measuring stick just changed around here, buddy. You're looking at it.
Welcome, everyone, to wet, cold Foxborough. Welcome to the Outsider Sports Show. It's Clint, Switzer, it's Noah Gronniger, and we are here live at Gillette Stadium broadcasting before the divisional playoff game. Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots. It's happening in just a few hours. This is just an amazing feeling. Welcome to New England.
Welcome. I cannot believe I am here. We have won a playoff game for the first time since 1994. We were 9 years old. Now we're 31 years old. We have advanced in the playoffs. We have advanced, and we are here at Gillette trying to take on Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, try to dethrone a dynasty.
We're not going to be talking about this game alone. We have the voice of the New England Patriots, Mr. Bob Socci, is going to join us to help break down this action as he prepares for the game as well. Very nice of him to join us through his busy schedule, and we're getting ready to get this game on here. New England, I'll tell you what, just milling about. It's unbelievable to be here. It's been a quick turnaround. My life, I feel like, has just gone completely amiss as we were in Houston last week. I was in Los Angeles the week before that for the Rose Bowl. So from LA to Houston to New England, the Outsider Sports Show has got your back, and we're here for you, and your money stays and plays with the Outsiders. I tell you what.
Interesting you say that, because my money has not stayed anywhere. I am very frugal. I like to just save up my money for a rainy day, and this is the rainy day, folks, here at Gillette Stadium.
This is why you do it. No,
yes.
This is why we, no wives, no girlfriends, just sports, and this is the moment you live for as a Chiefs fan after beating the Houston Texans 30-0.
12-hour drive down to Houston,
Woo!
Maybe a 14-hour drive back because of traffic and highways blocked off. And
a little bit easier traveling situation here to Boston this weekend, but I'll tell you what, guys, it is this is a big-time environment, and it is not, the weather is not exactly, this is not the friendly confines of, we sat in a nice cushy dome.
NRG Stadium. There.
Oh, I know. I can't believe it's not Reliant. I don't get that. But this is Gillette. This is the Patriots. This is the playoffs. This is Brady and Belichick. And the Chiefs coming into this game. We're still waiting to hear if anything changes at game time on Jeremy Maclin. Looks like he's going to be a go.
Yeah.
That's huge for this offense. The Chiefs coming in here have a chance to unseat this Patriots team. But again, as we've talked about all week, Patriots, Brady, Belichick, playoffs, Gillette. They're 14-3 here during that time. Tough situation, but the Chiefs can win this game.
They can, but no, you mentioned Brady, you mentioned Belichick. They've also got Gronk and two guys, Sebastian Vollmer, Julian Edelman. Sounds like they're going to give it a go as well. That spells trouble for the Chiefs. Julian Edelman, chain mover, first down guy, extension of the running game because they don't really have a running game with Steven Jackson and James White, so that is huge for the New England Patriots. Gets the ball out of Tom Brady's hands quicker, so that kind of puts a halt on Justin Houston, Tamba Hali coming around the corner. If Brady's getting the ball out in 2 seconds, that is huge for the Patriots, and that could spell doom and trouble for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll tell you what, though, these Chiefs, the defense is playing as well as it has. You get Justin Houston back. He played limited snaps last week, maybe going to give it more of a go. He looked really gassed out there at times.
He did.
There's a rotation here that's going on, though. When you've got 4 pass rushers in there, really 2 of them are effective. 2.5 maybe with D Ford. Frank Zombo, not as much. You don't want him on the field here in these conditions very often, but this Chiefs defense, Noah, it's special. This is maybe the best Chiefs defense since the 97 season, and I'll tell you what, that can win you a game, especially in these conditions. But the Chiefs, they do have history. This Chiefs team last year, a whole totally different circumstance at Arrowhead, 41-14. Tom Brady has said himself, this Chiefs defense, it forces you to play bad football. That's what the Chiefs have to do here today. Marcus Peters, you had 8 interceptions in the regular season. You bet you're going to need to get one today. Justin Houston had 7.5 sacks in limited action. Going to need 2 or 3 today. Someone's going to have to strip a ball. There's going to need to be a fumble, and it's going to need to be Don Terry Poe or Jay Howard or somebody on the other end of it, and it's going to need to be turnovers. City Chiefs are going to need some big-time plays, play their best game to win this game, and they can do it. They've won 11 straight. Is 12 going to be today? We're going to talk predictions. We'll save for later. You know what I'm saying? But it's
going to be tough. You look at some of the teams that have beat the Patriots in the playoff, the Jets, the Ravens. They have some rough riders on defense. They get in your face. The Chiefs have a good defense, but do they have those rough riders, that tough physical play that can knock those receivers around, knock Gronk around, knock them off their timing? just impose their will on them? I don't know. I look at Marcus Peters. I look at Jay Howard. Those are two guys that could be my Rough Riders, my dogs out there. Roof, roof. But that's it. I don't know.
That.
I mean, we're going to need that. We're going to need a physical style of play out there, and I don't know if this Chiefs defense has it. They're talented, but are they tough?
It's a different deal. This is a whole new ball game. Houston's one thing, and you got that monkey off your back. But this is if this Chiefs team's going to be remembered. If you're going to remember the 10 straight, 11 straight with the playoff win, you can go in and you have that opportunity. It's an opportunity. Opportunities come along every so often. And it is our pleasure here on the Outsiders Sports Podcast to welcome the voice of the New England Patriots, Mr. Bob Socci. Bob, welcome to the show. Welcome back. We had you on last year talking Super Bowl, and here we are now, Kansas City, traveling to New England to take on the Patriots this weekend. How's everything going up in New England, my man?
Well, things are going well. Certainly a lot more exciting and active this week than last week before the bye. And in particular, I think everybody's focusing on this matchup on Saturday, which really has the makings of a great game.
Well, how big was that bye week for you guys? I mean, it sounds like you're going to get Sebastian Vollmer, Julian Edelman back. What's the status on those injuries? I'm sure Bill Belichick has shown you the X-rays and gave you a detailed report on just everything on those injuries.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of optimism, I guess, with some strings attached. I think people are cautiously optimistic about those two in particular coming back and being able to help this team, but there is still such a great unknown, especially considering the extent of the injuries the Patriots have had to face all season long. But in particular, when you look at a couple of key areas, and you guys mentioned Vollmer on the offensive line and Julian Edelman at wide receiver, and really the two are entangled in a way in some of the problems that have plagued this team late in the year. Edelman is a key for this offense, as I'm sure you're well aware. He's Tom Brady's security blanket in a lot of ways. The rhythm of the offense, the ability to get the ball out quickly, so important to the Patriots' success. And Julian Edelman has been a guy who's almost been uncoverable at times in the Patriots' offense. And when he's in the lineup, it's simply a different offense. And a lot of the problems they've experienced on the offensive line have been compounded, of course, by Edelman's absence. And Vollmer is a guy who's had to go from right tackle to left tackle, one of the 5 different left tackles for this team this season, 4 different starting left tackles for the Patriots after an early season injury to Nate Solder. And they've had trouble protecting Brady of late, especially, in particular the last couple of games of the regular season. And when Edelman is out there full go, the Patriots are full go. It's as simple as that. Gronkowski, of course, is another key for the Pats. So they're going to need both in the lineup on Saturday, in particular because of the success of the Chiefs getting to the passer.
Tom Brady earlier this week said the Chiefs have a winning formula. They've won 11 straight games. It's no surprise to Tom. It is a bit of a surprise to us here at Kansas City the way the season started. But, as you look at this, what do you think the winning formula is for Kansas City coming to New England this weekend?
I think it's the same, guys. I think, for one thing, the Chiefs have been really impressive in the way they have started quickly. They've been able to get out to the lead. I think that, not only obviously the kick return by Nile Davis against the Houston Texans, but what they've done with their opening drives during the course of their 11-game winning streak, jumping in front, playing complementary football thereafter. They're very solid in every area, and that's something that's been emphasized time and again by Bill Belichick and the Patriots in the last few days, just how good and mistake-free the Chiefs are for the most part in all 3 facets of play. So they get good field position for their offense. They limit the opposition to poor field position, so that's the first part of the equation for them. They don't turn the ball over. I think Alex Smith is a vastly underrated quarterback. We saw him last year play extremely well for the Patriots, and a lot of people like to point to the phrase game manager, and there's a negative connotation, and I'm sure you know better than I the reputation of being a check-down quarterback. But to me, he's a smart quarterback, and game manager is something that every coach wants from every quarterback, and Tom Brady's a game manager in his own right in the Patriots context. So to me, Alex Smith does a great job. Again, they're a team that starts well, they take care of the football, they don't turn it over, they get good field position because of their solid special teams unit and the way their defense plays. They get to the quarterback, and they make plays defensively with those 22 interceptions. And this is a team that I think presents a very difficult matchup for the Patriots because of all those different things. They don't beat themselves.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes. I mean, Chiefs fans are sitting here nervous saying, hey, it's Brady Belichick, it's the playoffs, it's Gillette Stadium. Maybe hearing some Patriots fans nervous. Hey, this Chiefs team's won 11 straight. They forced you into bad football, as Tom Brady said. So there's a lot of things that you could take from that potential situation. But let's talk about this Patriots team. Had some struggles, still finishes 12-4. This is just time after time after time. Patriots hosting playoff games. It's Gillette Stadium, 14-3 at home. How does it happen? I think that's a magic word. A lot of people, if they knew that, it would maybe they could stop it from happening. But Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, is it as simple as that, or is there something else that we're just not seeing on the surface?
Well, I think number one, it's a similar formula to what the Chiefs has done. The Patriots get out to the lead, they build on it, they play generally mistake-free football. You look at this team the last couple of seasons, but over the course of the last decade and a half, they don't turn the ball over. They eventually capitalize on their opponents' mistakes. They've got a great quarterback. I think they are the greatest of all time. And in my opinion, having won the 4 Super Bowls and having done it in a couple of different generations of NFL players, they have a defense that has really become more athletic this season, especially up front in the front seven. And it's a team that's extremely well coached, and there's a tremendous attention to detail. They're game plan oriented, so week to week, you never know what you're going to get from the Patriots. They're going to create a game plan essentially to take away your strengths and try to exploit your weaknesses. And again, this is a team this year with 12 wins, and they finished on a down note by losing 4 of the last 6. Very uncharacteristic for the Patriots, but I think there's still the capacity for this team to really turn things on. Once again, if they can get their players back healthy enough, and in particular the guys we've already talked about, like Edelman and Vollmer, and Dante Hightower certainly should not be overlooked, the importance he has to this Patriots defense. So, I think they're just a very well-coached team. There's a lot of talent, obviously, with Brady and Gronkowski. I mentioned Hightower. J.D. Collins is really an ascending star in this league. At linebacker, Jamal Sheard, Chandler Jones, Rob Ninkovich up front, Malcolm Butler, a Pro Bowler at cornerback for this team. So there's a lot of individual talent, but it's the way they play cohesively. And again, with a game plan that week in, week out, kind of maximizes what those players do individually and collectively.
I mean, now looking at this, the Patriots are going to have to find a balance somehow. Their run game is just non-existent. They've got James White, kind of more of a third down back coming out of the backfield. They just signed Steven Jackson off the street. They can't really expect a lot out of him. He didn't do well even in Atlanta back when he was playing. And now with Edelman back, we mentioned how big that was and how they're a different team. I mean, is that going to be the key short passing game, screens, rub routes? Is that going to be it for the Patriots, maybe throwing 50 times this game because they can't rely on the run at all?
Well, that's a possibility, and I think that I will take exception with one of the things you said. They don't rely on the run at all. I think this is a game where they might have to rely on it on occasion. And if they get a few third and short conversions, or if they're in goal to go and they're able now to hand it off to Steven Jackson and he can run through contact, which he did on a few instances against the Dolphins in that regular season finale, then that's more than enough for them. Because you're right, this is a team that has that capability of spreading it out and really capitalizing again on Brady's pre-snap knowledge, his recognition of the defenses, knowing where the ball's got to go even before he has it in his hands and getting it there in a hurry. And I think when you look at this particular game, there are any number of examples over the course of the last few seasons where you could point to. This year, maybe it's week 2 against Buffalo, where Brady threw for well over 400 yards, nearly 500 yards, with a game plan that was almost almost a pass exclusive. They are a team that can beat you in a lot of different ways, and they can run the ball out of the spread at times. They were very effective early in the year with Deion Lewis doing that on the shotgun handoff, and we may see James White get a carry or two, or in a key series and pick up a big play or two for them in that light as well. So this is a team that they don't necessarily have to strive for balance. I think that's a phrase that kind of gets overused and at times is really unnecessary in football. What does that mean? They score points when they're going well. They haven't again been at full strength and certainly in sync the last couple of weeks. But when they're going well, they get enough out of the run game that they can certainly score more than enough.
Well, Bob, before we let you go, I got to ask about this coaching matchup. Arguably, maybe the 2 best coaches active in the NFL today, and Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. And, just in reading some articles, reading some fan responses, of course, Belichick has had a few moments this year that have maybe caught him under fire just a little bit, of course, kicking off in overtime, things like that. How do you see this coaching matchup playing out? I think Andy Reid's 1-4 all time against Bill Belichick, including a Super Bowl loss. So how do you see that playing out? And what do you think the fans in New England and the Boston area thinking of Bill Belichick? Some of these gaffes, I guess you could say, that have occurred down the stretch.
Well, again, I'll disagree with you about that term, because if you had watched the Patriots and understood the situation, you could certainly understand why they elected to kick off against the Jets the way that game was going. And you look back at the Denver game, which Belichick eventually referenced, but in our radio booth and calling the game was the first thought that crossed my mind. They were shorthanded against the Broncos on the road in overtime, and they received, and they went 3 and out, and they went backwards, and the Broncos got the ball with about a half a field with which to work against the Jets. They were so compromised offensively. The best opportunity for them to win a game in which they had 1 third-down conversion, and their only touchdown drive featured 2 fourth-down conversions and was less than 70 yards in length. Their best opportunity to win that game in overtime was to try to get a stop, which the defense was doing consistently late in that game, and then get a short field, and then need to drive only 20, 30 yards or so to set up the best place kicker in football, Jimmy Gostkowski. It didn't work out that way, but it wasn't a gaffe. You could certainly take issue with the decision that Belichick made, but in retrospect, in hindsight, it didn't work out well. But there was sound reasoning and logic behind it, just as there is with just about every decision that he makes, it seems to me, and following his team very, very closely and watching them every play. So, people here still fully trust in Bill Belichick, and in that same light, I think Andy Reid is another guy who doesn't get his due. People may point to the failures in the NFC Championship with the Eagles, but considering what he's done, 14 years with that team, as successful as they were, and granted, they had a couple of down years, a 500 season and a losing year, 4-12. Look where the Eagles are today, and look where the Chiefs are after a 2-win season 3 years ago. So I think this is a great coaching matchup. I think these are two guys, in Reid's case, more criticized in his market in Philadelphia, certainly than Bill has ever been here in Foxborough, and in New England. But I think these are two guys that, as you said, are among the best, if not the very best, in the NFL.
Well, looking forward to a wonderful matchup. We got a couple first-timers in the New England area this weekend for the game. Can't look forward to it enough. Bob will definitely be checking you out on the call here for the New England Patriots, the voice of the New England Patriots, Bob Socci. Cannot thank you enough for joining us. Great insight, and here's to a good game this weekend, my man. Let's make it happen.
I'm looking forward to it, guys. Thanks so much.
You bet. Thanks a lot. Well, thanks a lot to Bob, and we'll definitely be checking out the call here as he gets set to take to the booth here. And I'll tell you what, he had disagreed with us about a couple points, but I'll tell you what, I think Bill Belichick has created a couple gaffes in the coaching game. Maybe he's a guy that takes chances. He can. He's won 4 Super Bowls. I still believe that he's the best coach in football, and there's no question about it. But I still think there's some potential chinks in that armor. This Patriots team is as beatable maybe as they've been in a long time, and that's not all that beatable. But it's 50-50 here.
Yeah, with Steven Jackson and James White in your backfield, you're going to be beatable. I mean, there's just a beatable element to you when you can't run the football hardly at all.
Bob Socci takes exception to that.
He does. I wasn't saying that they would never run the football. Obviously, they're going to run sometimes. He said they might run on 3rd down and 1, out of the shotgun a few times. Ooh. That was exactly my point. So I disagree with you, Bob Socci. And he talked about Bill Belichick and how that wasn't a gaffe. I mean, yes, they might have wanted to kick, but they also thought they were getting the wind, and they weren't. So in my definition, in my dictionary, that falls under gaffe. That's just where it falls.
Snafu, if you will.
A bum bomb.
well, and you don't expect those kind of mistakes to happen in the playoffs, especially at home in Gillette. You know the drill. We've been here, a million times. This is the Patriots. It's the playoffs.
We haven't.
I mean, not literally us.
Okay.
I'm talking about us as an NFL public.
Okay,
and
yes.
The Patriots.
Yes,
this
yes.
is what they do. So here's the thing: when it comes down to predictions, and it's time to really to go this, and it's tough to do. We're from Kansas City. We know how we've seen this franchise and the playoff ineptitude. The monkey's off the back. They've won the playoff game. Here we are in Gillette. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch this game with my own 2 eyes. And I tell you what, I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs to end the Patriot reign right here at Gillette Stadium. 19-17, defensive battle, slow moving. Chiefs offense does just enough. Maybe Jerry Maclin gives you just enough in the passing game. Maybe Albert Wilson. Maybe Conley steps up. Travis Kelce. Alex Smith does just enough. Doesn't turn it over. West and Ware the combination grinds it out, and the Chiefs win this game, and they bring it to Kansas City, and we see what happens with Pittsburgh and Denver.
Yeah, I mean, I like where you're going with that, but I'm just going to have to disagree with you there.
Oh.
I mean, Macklin's got that high ankle sprain. They're mild, but, I mean, he's going to give it a go, it looks like, unless unforeseen circumstances happen. I've got the Patriots in this game, 27-21. They're going to have enough. Edelman coming back. I think that's huge for them. Just huge. Without him, it's just a one-man show.
Well, he hasn't played since I think
been out 7 weeks.
I think I've had a birthday or two since he's played a football game. That goes for Vollmer too. Amendola's been in and out. I mean, it's been an inconsistent situation. The Patriots down the stretch has been wildly inconsistent. Now you're right. Edelman? What kind of football shape's he in? We saw Justin Houston last week huffing and puffing and looked like he'd gained about 15 pounds.
I'm sure Edelman will have limited snaps, 60% of the snaps or something, but he'll come in and he'll move the chains, and he'll get the ball out of Brady's hand quicker, especially on known passing situations. That way Houston, Holly, Howard, Poe, Derek Johnson, they can't get to him in time. It's just huge for them. I still don't know who's covering Gronk. I have no clue. I don't know who can do it. Who can do it?
It's going to
Barry can't do it.
You're going to see a lot
Derek
of Barry.
Johnson, Peters, Smith. Can they move inside? They don't really do that a lot. They stay out on their corners. I don't think we have anyone that can cover him.
Pass rush is going to be huge then. You're going to have to get to Brady. You got to. Otherwise,
Edelman on rub plays, rub routes. I mean, he's shifty. He can get open. Is Parker coming down in the slot to cover him? Is it Branch? Anybody who you put there, I think Edelman's going to get open, and the ball's coming out in 2 seconds. You're not going to get there. I've got it 27-21, probably closer than I should have. I don't know.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to give up 27 points, and that's just how I feel about it. This Chiefs defense hasn't given up close to that, during this win streak. And I know this is the Patriots. I know
they're not shipping Brian Hoyer out there in the huddle. This is Tom Brady.
I know the situation we're walking into. We're here. We're at Gillette Stadium is behind us. I know what we're about to walk into. I just feel like something special is going to happen. I feel like this Chiefs team.
I'm going to need it to happen. Otherwise, I'm not making the flight home. I'm going to be out.
You're just going to set up shop down in Southie somewhere, maybe be a part of the Irish Mafia with Frank Costello and The Departed, Matt Damon.
Sounds better than going
Great movie,
to
by the way.
Royals land, and the Chiefs have just failed in the playoffs again.
That would be terrible. Hey, we're going to go inside Gillette. We're going to see how this plays out, guys. Cannot thank you enough for joining us. We want to hear from you. Hit us up. As you're listening to this, as you're getting prepared for this game, we want to hear our Facebook, Great American Sports Network, and I'll tell you what, our website, GreatAmericanSportsNetwork.com. It's all there, all the archives, all the interviews, all the articles, it's all there.
We'll be tweeting before the game. We'll be tweeting inside at GA Sports Network. Hit us up. We want to hear your thoughts, our thoughts as game time is coming up and going on. We want to hear it all.
It's time to break down the tent. It's time to go inside. It's time to watch a football game, Noah. Here we go. The Outsider Sports Show is here at the divisional playoff game here in New England. We will see you on the flip side. Outsider Sports Show.
Time for some playoff football, folks.
Where would you rather be than right here, right now?